Magic 97.9, guest DJ is Clinton Burley today. We have known each other for, I didn't even know that until he just told me, 29 years. And we go way back. In fact, I can remember being in the family room of his parents' home, and we had the MASH Bash.
Exactly right.
Celebrating the last episode of MASH ever to air, and Clinton was one of the. Let me just say, Clinton was one of the elite. All right, his family, his family had some cash, and he was one of the first people, I believe, in Westmoreland to actually have a big screen TV. So it was everybody's thought that if you remember, not only did you have a TV, but you had a TV that when people called. I mean, it's way out technology now, but I mean, at the time, I believe when you called, didn't the caller ID or something come up on the telephone?
That's exactly right. Right? You have too deep for memory. Talking about this 29 years, it's really amazing that it's 29 years. We met each other when I was 2.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. I've changed your diaper many a time.
Oh, it was, and I remember that.
Yes. Now, I point out that Clinton comes from a family that was very much involved. Your father was and I guess your mother as well, was a part owner of Camden Park.
Yeah.
Right?
When my dad came back from World War II, went to Marshall, he met a gentleman. His family's still here in town, John Boylan. He owned furniture stores in town, had a furniture manufacturing place actually in the west end of Huntington. He went to work for him in sales, and Mr. Boylan also owned Camden Park. And when he got to know my dad, he went ahead and got him over to Camden Park initially as a salesman to go out and sell picnics to churches, schools, businesses. That evolved into him eventually becoming an office manager. He had 30 years in down there. It was a huge part of our life.
That's amazing. So what's your memories of the early days of Camden Park? You were there when they had a zoo.
Yeah, a lot of folks don't remember that there was a zoo there. I mean, you think about seals living at Camden Park. It went on. It's down. It was down where the log flume ride is now. There was a zoo down there with an elephant. Matter of fact, I could take you to a place at Camden Park, and we could play archaeologist, and we could find elephant bones. Because when Trixie died, they literally lifted her out of there with a crane, dug a hole next to it, and buried her right there. So I figure probably 500 years from now, when somebody's excavating, they're going to say, "What in the world's an elephant doing here?" But another little funny side story: when they did away with the zoo, they sold all the zoo animals to other. You know where I'm going with this. But they sold all the zoo animals to other people, other zoos, with the exception of a cockatoo.
Yeah.
And that cockatoo name was Richard, and we went home to my mom and we said, "We've got to take this bird home." So this bird's miserable down there. It's in a warehouse. So my mom said, "Well, if Camden Park buys the cage, I'll take the bird." And Richard was with us for another 20 years.
Yeah, and it was one of the noisiest birds I think I ever met.
That's all good.
That bird screeched and squawked.
I would take that bird back today. It was a very sad day when Richard passed. But it was it just truly was a part of our life. I mean, I spent summers growing up at Camden Park, and in the summer when my dad was at work, if we're going to have family dinner, we had it in the Camden Park cafeteria. I mean, that was just.
Well, thanks for bringing me down. Now it's supposed to be such a happy event. Now you're bringing me all these.
I had an extra piece of fried chicken on your behalf. It was all good.
Stories this morning. Thank you very much. Yes, DJ Clinton Burley with us this morning on a Friday on Magic 97.9.